Thank you for watching BWTV. We're at the Grand Canyon Baha'i Conference in Phoenix. My name is Nickoe and our guest for today is Shahin. My first question is, what do you think about the conference?
Very nice. There's people from all over the place here. They have it every year, and it's also a nice location. The topics in the conference they're also very interesting.
Are you volunteering in any way at the conference this year?
This year I didn't volunteer, but I did help with a workshop session.
What topic did you present in the conference?
It was on the process of consultation, kind of on group decision making.
Can you tell us a little bit more about consultation?
The Baha'i concept of consultation, there's a lot to it. It is a process of decision making. There's a group dynamic that comes about, and the decisions are made where participants are detached, in a sense that when someone gives up their idea to the group, it no longer belongs to them, it belongs to the group. And so their detachment, you might say, a humble spirit of learning is one element, and another element is diversity. So I think everyone has, typically independent thought. No one just follows somebody else's opinion necessarily. I mean, they may say the same thing, but because they thought about it independently. And also diversity. So diversity is a big element because the different perspectives together form the truth. And then unity. So first you have diversity, so you have all kinds of different angles to the truth, but then you have unity. So all those pieces of the puzzle kind of come together, and each person really has, let's say, one piece of the puzzle, and they put it in the center, and then together they form something that none of them could have done by themselves. So it is a synergistic process. Research has shown that group decision, when a group decides something and you take the collective of all of their thoughts and somehow combine them, average the number that they say or take votes, if each person in the group has some amount of error in what they're coming up with, as a group they always have much more accurate results. Another research shows that, like I was mentioning, diversity is a very important factor in consultation, and the diversity of the group is even more important than the expertise of all the people in the group. If everyone was super expert and not diverse, they probably won't have as much success in their decision making. So this is another study that was talked about.
What do you think about consultation and science?
That's actually one of the interesting parts of this workshop, that the actual idea of how the group can actually come up with things that are not just combining, let's say, a number everybody said and just averaging it. That's what's been done. But taking it to the next step, where even if you're trying to come up with those numbers, don't average it, but have a group dynamic, try to come up with the answers. So, and have, that's another completely different dimension that can be added. So I would say the Baha'i consultation also has an element of, there's a spiritual component, which is very hard to necessarily gather empirical data on, though there might be some ways to experiment with that. But so I would say the modern day science has been confirming more and more elements of consultation, but consultation needs there's a lot more to consultation as well.
If there was one thing you could tell the whole world about the Baha'i faith, what would it be? If
someone was to just remember, a few things, what is the Baha'i faith? Is the oneness of God, oneness of religion, and oneness of humanity. And if you look around the world today and just listen to the news, you'll see so many things happening and so many horrible things happening. So the Baha'i writings indicate these are all symptoms of a disease, and the disease itself is the lack of unity. So the lack of unity, which means that we're one world and many peoples, whereas in truth we're just really one world and one human race. So that's really at the root cause, it's at the heart of all the problems. If we stop a particular disease or a particular problem, some other things will emerge. But to really solve things, you have to look at the actual cause of the problem, which is disunity in the world.
What is your profession? My
profession, I'm an engineering position in a corporate world. But I would say I'm leaning more towards the statistical and data analysis side of things.
In what way has the faith impacted your profession?
I think that no matter what you're doing, if it's your job, if you're just doing something else, whatever it is anybody's doing, they can stop them and for a moment pause and ask themselves, what are the spiritual principles involved in what I'm doing right now? And I think that's an interesting question to always ask yourself. And also, how am I benefiting the society or humanity? These are, so I think whatever anybody does for a living, these are very interesting questions to ask themselves. And so I think that's where the belief system will always come in, is what is your motivation of doing anything?
What inspired you to be a Baha'i?
In my case, I'm a fifth generation Baha'i. But as Baha'is, there's a independent investigation of truth is a very important principle. So I would say that even though I was born into a Baha'i family, I think there was some point in my life, I would say probably when I was in my early 20s, that the Baha'i faith, I had believed in the Baha'i faith in my heart before, but all of a sudden in those years I saw how some of the simplest writings in the Baha'i faith have some profoundness in their simplicity. I mean, the whole concept of the oneness of humanity is at the heart of, like I was saying, that's a good example. It's really at the heart of so many problems around the world. So these kind of things is I would say, what creates my idea of being a Baha'i. And also another thing that I really like about the Baha'i faith, it is very widespread. So geographically, and if I go in any island, any village, and I travel a lot, wherever I go, I always find Baha'is and Baha'i communities that just, it's just an amazing experience.
What would you tell someone first investigating the faith?
Anyone is investigating anything, they should go directly to the source. That's the way to find the truth. And in this case, they have to go directly to the writings of Baha'u'llah, for example, and directly to the Baha'is themselves. And that would be the best way. I wouldn't necessarily say, they should look at Wikipedia or something. They should talk and interact with Baha'is and look for themselves at the words of Baha'u'llah and reflect on it.
Thank you so much for being here with us and sharing your stories and experience.
You have to say it again.